Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here talking happy, healthy habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. Robin is in the house and we are so excited. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Carolina. It's been a while since I've seen you, about a month.
It's been a minute. But
Yes,
it's
yes.
just good to
So
have you
great to
in
see
the
you.
house. And I am so glad that you had a successful hiatus.
hmm
And I hope you're well rested.
I am now.
Good, good. Oh my goodness. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups. And I want to give a shout out to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. We are the Biz Chicks, and we're going to get this party started talking about happy, healthy habits. Robin, what do you have for us today?
Well, I wanted to go over again because we've done this several times, I think, on the
Mhm.
show. Some of the benefits of meditation. Um, we have a guest with us today who's going to teach us more about this, but I thought I would just kind of introduce the idea of the benefits of meditation and just go over it really
Mhm.
quickly so we can get into it with our guest
Okay.
today. So I found this article and it talks about the health benefits of meditation, and it says recent studies from Harvard University found that long-term meditators have increased amounts of gray matter in the insula and sensory regions of their brain and
Oh,
the auditory and sensory cortex of their brain. So you can actually
increase.
your brain through meditation.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
there's a lot of health benefits and they're studying it more and more. So I'll just go over really quickly because there's benefits, physical benefits of meditation. And then I think this article goes into a little bit further about the other kinds of benefits. Okay,
Okay.
so I'll just go over the list really quickly.
Hmm.
Lowers high blood pressure. It can lower the levels of blood lactate, reducing anxiety attacks.
Mm.
Decreases tension related pain such as tension headaches, ulcers, insomnia, muscle, and joint problems.
Wow.
Increases serotonin production that improves mood and behavior.
Hmm.
This goes on. Okay, so I'm going to turn the page here as quietly as I can. Improves the immune system and increases the energy level as you gain an inner source of energy. Those are the physical benefits of meditation. I'm sure there's a lot more, but this is kind of a short article.
Hmm.
And then it goes into the mental benefits of meditation.
Oh,
So those are
okay.
physical, these are mental now. So anxiety, okay, so let me just read this little preamble. As mentioned before, meditation brings the brainwave patterns into a relaxed alpha state that relaxes the body as well as the mind. Without constant stimuli entering the sensory pathways, the mind is able to relax and enter a state of deep rest. Meditation is also a practice of self-care that allows for a connection with the inner self. In doing so, self-esteem increases and the ability to make decisions that align with individuals' authentic feelings and desires and allow for a better self-regulation. With regular practice, meditation can um, decrease anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
provide emotional stability. It can create increase your creativity. It can increase your happiness.
Yes.
Helps develop your intuition. Can help you gain clarity and peace of mind. And
Hmm.
problems can seem smaller. Meditation sharpens the mind by increasing focus and expands through relaxation. A sharp mind without expansion causes tension, anger, and frustration. An expanded consciousness without sharpness can lead to lack of action and progress. And balance of a sharp mind and an expanded consciousness brings perfection.
Brings what?
Perfection.
Oh, okay.
So balancing the sharp mind with an expanded consciousness can bring perfection. And
Oh,
the other benefits, so they kind of just end the article by saying that it can, when you meditate, you can enter a peace and
mm,
space of internal expansiveness, calm, and joy. And the result is feelings of expansiveness, calm, and joy in waking life, which has an effect on our interactions with others and the world around us. So we can impact just by calming ourselves down, we can calm
being
the world
calm,
down.
having a different response to the things that are going on around us, and taking a mental break.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sort of
It's
like
good for
taking,
everybody.
yes, sort of
Good
like
for
taking a
us.
deep
Yes.
breath, huh?
Yes. So with us today we have our Jill Weston, who
Mm-hmm.
we call her our calm what do we call her? Our calm guru. She
Mm-hmm.
she helps us calm down. And Jill's with us from Mexico. I think she's in Mexico now. So we've got Terralina in Pennsylvania,
On the
Robin in
East Coast,
Sacramento, and Jill in Mexico.
the
So
West Coast, and we
yes,
are international today.
we are international today. Isn't that crazy? So
Oh my
wonderful.
goodness. Coast to coast, we're intercontinental, and we're international.
And, happy to say that Jill is still really focusing on her business while she's down
Mm-hmm.
there. So, I've been taking yoga nidra classes with her, even though she's in Mexico. And it's been really, really wonderful to hook up with her. So, with that, I think she still owns the breathing space and all
Yes,
of that. Maybe she can update us as to what she's doing business wise as well.
correct. Okay,
Yeah.
let's bring her on the
Let's
stage.
bring her on.
Hey, good morning, Miss Jill.
Good morning, everyone, and to everybody watching. Maureen, I see you're live. Thank you for joining us. And yes, I am in Mexico, still business is strong, calming chaos and being a stress whisperer wherever I go. And even here in Mexico, it's curious as I meet new people. They're like, we know why you moved specifically to this town. I'm in a city, or I call it a town because it kind of feels small town, small city. And I was sharing with Terry beforehand that it's a place where people seem very content in their hearts,
Mm-hmm.
pretty peaceful. So even business interactions feel a little bit differently. I'm renovating a whole house. I don't speak a lot of Spanish, but it's really curious to watch the interactions between myself and the people who are helping, the things that I need to get done. And it comes about because of many of the things that Robin was talking about is, when you know where you're at with yourself, when you know what your body is doing, you can
Mm-hmm.
relate differently, you can communicate differently to people. So for me, when I'm a little frustrated with my lack of Spanish, when I'm a little frustrated with, I don't have a car here. There's a Home Depot, but it's 45 minutes, an hour away.
Wow.
So sometimes I have to walk, and it's not a sob story, but I'll walk 3 miles to get a doorknob. The significance of that is if I go to the wrong place or if I have to take the doorknob back, I don't just jump in the car and go do that. And so I notice I need another level of awareness and paying attention because I'm in some unfamiliar territory. But what's familiar for me is coming back to my body and coming back to, my awareness of how am I speaking, what am I thinking, what am I saying to myself. And so, Robin, everything that you said just really feeds into what we're going to discuss and talk about today.
Wow.
That's awesome. We missed you.
I missed you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hesitant. So those of you watching may know that I'm on the show. I would say fairly regularly, or used to be. And Robin had asked me to sign up for some sessions, and I said, I don't know if I'm going to have stable Wi-Fi. Mexico, some parts of Mexico can be a little noisy. Like there's a lot of celebrations. So there's fireworks. There might be dogs barking. There might be construction next door. I said, let me go down there and figure out my whole system because I don't, Noise can be normal, interruptions can
Mhm.
be normal, things can happen. But as far as people taking their time to log in and watch the show, I didn't want it to be a chaotic, mess on my end. So I'm going to sign up for more shows, and you'll see more often because I have the patterns down and
This is
have things
good.
figured out. Yay!
We are
Boy.
excited about that. I'm so glad that things are working out.
Yes. Yes,
Hmm.
it's good. It's good.
However, I don't know if I can handle a 3 mile walk for a doorknob. However, I think it would be a great thing for my body and probably for my mind
And there
because.
is Uber and taxis. There are options.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm even healthier. I walked quite a bit when I was in Sacramento,
Uh-huh.
but I find partly because this is all new to me, there are more interesting places to work. And I found walk in Sacramento. I was kind of in a suburban area, and for me, it just wasn't that stimulating to my mind to walk and look at houses and
Yes.
cars and hear people interact with you a lot. There's just lots to look at, lots of things to hear and listen. So I willingly walk more.
Well, you're going to have to take
So
us on a walk.
anytime I'd love to FaceTime, we could do a walk.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what do you have for us today, Jill?
Today, we're going to talk about holiday health your way. And I think it's especially helpful that I'm on your show. You and Robin always bring, on Thursdays, bring healthy habits. And so, of course, some holidays have passed. Holidays can be year round depending on your religious practices, spiritual practices, or even cultural.
Mm-hmm.
But I think traditionally, this is a time of year for many of the viewers who are on. It's getting, there's a weather change, possibly a time change. And so I'm going to go through and talk about the typical stressors that occur for most people during the holidays, whenever that may be. How our brain and body responds to that, and Robin covered that a little bit already. And then I'm going to demonstrate and take you guys through a healthy habit that can help with that.
Good.
So again, holiday health your way, and the emphasis on the your way.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stressors I think come from the time that we're kids, regardless of what country, what our practices are. I think there's an added level of this is how we're supposed to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's great and sometimes it's not. So there are ways that we've been taught or that we've had practices of how we enjoy celebrating. And then sometimes it's not so much fun. In my family, when I was younger, my dad was in the military, and we always had the military personnel who didn't have families at our house.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was a great chance to see my parents reach out to show compassion. My mom loved to cook, so she would cook. But sometimes it was also a little hectic for me that the house was just always full of people. Then, when I started my career, I worked in a juvenile correctional facility. I was single, didn't have kids. My niece hadn't been born yet. So I would usually volunteer to work for other people so they could be home with their families. So
Mm-hmm.
my traditions kind of changed over time. But typically during the holidays, even if you were with all of your loved ones, maybe you're a great hostess or host, great cook, all of that's good. There's still stressors, including being a business person. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to cover quickly some of the top stressors for people. Some of these may be, as you're listening, um, there's probably not a need to take notes, but more see if you have forgotten that these are stressors for you,
Okay.
because they're pretty common every day. I'll add a little layer of detail to it, but some of these you're going to go, oh, yes, of course, I forgot. The first one I want to start with is financial demands.
Mm-hmm.
So during the holidays, there's a little difference in maybe how you're spending money or how much income you're having, whether it's business or personal. So if you think about gifts, the financial demand of, sometimes in gift giving, we have that pressure of, well, if it's not expensive enough, if it's not in the blue Tiffany box, if it didn't come from, in California, we have Nordstrom's, for example. And some of the best gifts I've received are beautiful handmade gifts, for example. But there's that level of, am I spending enough money on this person? If you come from a very large family, And families tend to grow over the years. You know, the three of us are a little older. I used to just have my niece, for example. Now I have her children.
Exactly.
So for some people, that's difficult. Financial demand of travel.
Mm.
So, again, depending on your circumstance, your family may be very close to you, or maybe the family wants to take a holiday. So I hear people saying, hey, instead of gathering around the Christmas tree or some other cultural practice, let's all fly off to Vegas. Let's fly off to Europe. And maybe you don't have the money or the means to do that, but you want to be with your family. And then another financial demand can be food. So you might want to host your family, to host coworkers. Food is a lot more expensive this year than it was last year, than it was the year before. So spending money on food, sometimes people have allergies, special needs for things, and that's a cost. So sometimes we just say, oh yeah, holidays are expensive, but think about how holidays are expensive for you.
Oh.
And if there's any change maybe from last year or your circumstances. Another stressor I want to cover is time. I am not a great shopper. You heard me talk about walking 3 miles to get a doorknob because I'm renovating my house. That's kind of fun for me. I'm not a shopper. I never have been.
Mhm.
So to go into a crowded store, I want to go in and get out. So whether you're still going into stores, I know a lot of people are shopping online. It still takes time. You're picking out the right item. You're looking at, Amazon is great. I spend probably too much time looking at reviews before I buy something.
Mm.
So are you spending too much time shopping? Is it something you enjoy? Are you working full time, running your business on the side, and trying to shop for the holidays? The other little nuance that sometimes people don't think about with time is, kind of raise your hand if you have a blended family, meaning maybe there have been divorces, separations, multiple kids, families, making the time to get to everyone, even if it's in the same city. So that pressure of, okay, at 8 o'clock, we're going to be at Terralina's. By 10 o'clock, we need to be at Robin's. By 1 o'clock, we need to be at Jill's. And then we still have 5 more places that we need to go. And that will lead into my fourth stressor. I'll cover the third one. The third one is personal health. I think there's a tendency sometimes during the holidays to overeat, to overdrink, maybe even to oversleep, or to do the opposite and not get enough rest. So during the holidays, look at the demands that are on you. And if there's time that you would normally sleep in a little bit, maybe take more time to work out. Are you off shopping? Are you traveling? Are you cooking? Or are you so anxious that you just don't want to do anything? So you could overeat, drink, sleep patterns can be different. And Robin talked about how important sleep is. How about your workout routine? So maybe you're off of work, a regular job, or maybe if you're self-employed, maybe during the holidays you close down your business part of the time. And maybe that couch over there looks really good. And you're thinking, instead of walking, instead of going online even and doing my workout classes, instead of stretching, I'm just going to go over there and sit on that couch, which might be really good for you. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But I also know people that stress themselves because they sit a little bit more during the holidays, but they have this inner critic that is like, what are you doing sitting? You should be doing this. You should be working out. Why aren't you going to your class? And again, when I do the activity, it's really having a chance to look at all these stressors and saying, are they stressing me? So back to, that's why I'm calling this holiday health your way. Taking a moment to go, no, I really need to go sit on the couch right now. Or you know what? I've been sitting on the couch for 3 days. I need to get up and move. Robin came on this morning saying, oh my gosh, I woke up late, I overslept. And I said, Robin, what if you just were getting the rest that you needed? But we automatically put this title and label on things sometimes, which is additionally stressful. Also under personal health, we talked about overeating, over drinking, maybe resting too much or oversleeping, not enough, working out, is also our mental health. And that's something I could talk about, we could all discuss for hours and hours, but your mental health is your personal health. And how does that change during the holidays? That could be overwhelm. It could be grief. I have some friends and some clients that I'm working with. This is the first Christmas of the loss of a loved one. And for some of them, it's been pretty recent. And they had very, very strong traditions for the holidays. So it's especially painful to even think about what will it be like with another holiday coming up, without a loved one, or maybe there's distance between you. So financial demands, time demands that can be stressors, personal health, and then the last one that I'm going to share is people. So looking at family and friend dynamics, and I see Terry laughing because I think you know exactly where I'm
I
going.
mean, people are people.
Yes, just all of that. So it can all be wonderful, but the push-pull of, maybe there's five family members, five groups of friends that you really want to spend time around, and you just can't do it. Or maybe you are a support system. I tend to be a support system for people. So, I have big shoulders, and I'm listening to the dynamics of, oh, I really don't want to go to that person's house, for Hanukkah, for Christmas, for Kwanzaa, whatever it is. Or, wow, I can't wait to spend time with, this person. So when we think about people, it also comes back to grief. Maybe some of our favorite people, because of distance or because of death, or illness, we can't spend time with them. I think there's also a piece of that traditional Thanksgiving is past, but how many of you sat down at the Thanksgiving table and had to be very, very careful what you said? So that's everything from politics, being politically correct or choosing not to and speaking what's on your heart. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now that people are very divided on. And so I think it's normal during the holidays as people gather that certain conversations come up. And it could literally be as simple as, you always cook turkey and I really wanted ham. I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian, don't put that turkey in front of me. And, again, your feelings are valid, beliefs are valid, but it can be a stressor to gather with people that believe differently than you. Or maybe traditionally, like, outside of holidays, your family unit is not as loving and compassionate as you would like. Maybe you're not as welcomed into a family, but somehow at the holidays, we're supposed to go sit at the table, and kind of pretend. So
Come
that
together.
So again, all of those are stressors that I hope I shared, some of what I call like the little nuances or the things that maybe you didn't think about, because sometimes people are just like, I don't know why it's stressful for me during the holidays. Like, it's just a holiday. So think about all those things, see what is true for you. I'm going to cover very, very briefly the brain and the body response because Robin talked about that some. When we're stressed, our body tries to take care of us, but sometimes it's the opposite effect. So imagine that you were going to a gathering that you really don't want to go to, or you're going to a gathering that you're really, really excited to go to. All of that creates everything from adrenaline, hormonal responses, stress in the body, and the body literally responds. Your heart's going to beat faster. Your blood pressure may go up or down because of it. You're either looking forward to it or you're doing this thinking, oh, I just, I don't want to be in this situation. Or literally you eat too much and your body's like, wait a minute, what's going on? So all of that triggers a stress response in a good way or not. And if you are not paying attention, it's going to happen, which is fine. But if you are not paying attention, it becomes very unhealthy. So I'm going to do an activity today that's going to on purpose call attention to some possible discomfort, but to show you how to manage it.
Okay.
So again, the major point, I guess, is understanding when you're out there shopping, when you're out in traffic, when you're trying to prepare food, when you're just thinking about how you want to celebrate, it can bring up stress. And then if you're not paying attention, you might act out. And the acting out, again, could be overeating, drinking, saying things that you don't mean to say. And one of the benefits that Robin talked about is your response. Okay. So if your body's too excited, too worried about, wait, guard against this, watch out over here, if you're always in this heightened sense, your response to yourself and your response to others is going to be different. So I tend to be pretty calm, and I have a lot of calming habits. So back to my renovation, when I get stressed, many times I walk away, and I don't walk away in anger. I'm like, oh, let me go look over here at this. Let me go step outside. Let me go feel the sun on my face. Or literally saying to people, stop just a second. It's not about you. Just please, you know what? It's too much for me to take in. Can you stop for just a second and let's come back to the conversation? But if your body is alarmed, your body's literally going to want to defend yourself or run away. You're going to keep talking. You're going to keep arguing. You're going to keep making your point. Even if someone's like, don't worry, you know what? I'm going to take the turkey from in front of you because you're vegan. Well, you need to understand I'm vegan. Okay, but I'm going to take the turkey away. But, and you're not noticing the person is trying to accommodate you. Okay. And then even the self-talk. I don't think Taraline is going to like this gift. Oh, and then as I give Taraline the gift, oh, you're probably not going to like this gift. Why do we do that to ourselves? And if we pay attention, then we can sit and go, oh, you know what? I don't know if Taraline is going to like this, but let me take a breath. Let me hand it to her, and let me watch her reaction from a calm state. And Taraline, you may go, oh, yeah, I really don't like this. But from a calm state, I can say, okay, well, what do we do about it? You want to keep it and give it away? I'll give you, oh, you know what? I didn't know. Okay. So it's that idea of, can we respond? So we're going to go into, and Terry, I know that you like my calming meditations. You like to go to sleep. Unfortunately, this will not necessarily be, it's going to be helpful, but it's not like a sleepy time.
Okay.
Relax.
That's fine.
This is more of a noticing meditation.
All right.
All right. So starting out, and again, the idea is I'm going to have you focus just for a moment on something that may be, I don't really want to use the word uncomfortable, but something that is a little bit of a barrier to the holidays for you. When you think about any of your holidays that are coming up, no matter what they may be, you're just kind of like, oh, I just don't really want to think about that. Okay. And then I'm going to show you a way to process it. So starting out, your eyes can be open or closed, completely up to you. And just start to notice your breath. You don't have to change anything. Just notice your breath. Now, as you notice your breath, just see if your breath is fast or slow or medium, if it's exactly right. Then I want you to take your awareness to all the sounds that are around you. Maybe hearing noises in your house, in your workplace, in your car. And then see if there are any noises in the room that you're in, or the car that you're in, the workspace. And then bring awareness a little bit closer to my voice. You can start to let those noises fade and just see if you can follow my voice for the next few minutes. This will just be a short activity that you can repeat longer later on. Take one more inhale. Nice, long, slow exhale. And I want you to picture in your mind, picture a difficult situation during the holidays. Picture a difficult situation during the holidays. This is your choice, what you picture. It doesn't have to be anything too dramatic. And once you have that picture in mind, I want you to picture yourself watching that scene, that scenario, that situation. And see yourself standing back a couple feet or maybe even a different room, and see yourself watching a situation that's a little difficult for you in the holidays. And as you watch yourself watching, I want you to take a deep inhale if that's available. Hold and exhale that breath out. Take another inhale. Drop your shoulders. And in this scenario, see yourself breathing. See yourself dropping your shoulders. And as you watch this scenario, as you watch this situation, I want you to imagine two options. What are two things that you can do? And you're watching from this calm state. Your breath is supporting you. What are two options that you create right now? And imagine this so clearly. One of the options might be that your breath changes, that your blood pressure is lower. Maybe you speak up, maybe you walk away. And if you only come up with one option, that's fine. Just see that there is an option and you are observing yourself choosing the option. Observe yourself choosing an option. Then on your next inhale or exhale, completely up to you, start to let the situation, start to let that scene fade away just a little bit. Let that image of yourself fade away just a little bit. And a little bit more. Then on your next inhale and exhale, I want you personally to take your hand to your heart, your hand to your belly. Start to feel your hands on your body. And take an inhale and an exhale. Take another inhale, exhale, coming back to your body. And start to notice the sounds that are around you. Again, start to hear my voice more clearly. And as you hear 3 chimes of the bell, you can slowly start to open your eyes. If your eyes have closed, you can slowly start to lower your hands if you choose to. Starting to come back to your real body, your real self, opening your eyes when you're ready. And knowing that as we finish, when you are in that difficult situation, this is going to come back to you. Your body, your mind is going to remember those options. You can see if you want to practice them to see if that's something that would work. All right, so again, that was a shortened version, not that it was too short. It just, if you felt like, oh, I couldn't create that image, I didn't feel the shift, I don't think this would work for me, set aside about 15 minutes next time and just go right into the activity. So again, all I really guided you on was relaxing your body for the moment, visualizing a difficult situation, and then seeing yourself in that situation from a calm state and coming up with options. Okay, so that was the activity. You can either re-listen again on the replay, but I would encourage you to take that out, a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you need to. And do that a few times, especially before you're going to an event or you have an activity. Practice it so that your mind is like, oh, I know what I can do. Practice it so that your body is looking for that change in state. So that's what I have for you today. I know we went a little bit over. If you ladies want to share any responses or there's questions. And if you're listening live on the replay, know that I go back into StreamYard doesn't stay up, but I go back into the Facebook page. If you have any questions, you can reach out and share.
Okay. All right, Robin, I'm going to bring us up. Do you have something that you want to share, Robin?
I solved my Christmas Eve, Christmas dinner situation.
Yes.
Yeah, everything's changing in my household, and so I've got to switch things around. And instead of making chopino, I'm going to make skiaki.
Okay.
My mom likes, and something that's easy to make, and something that's not stressful. And yep,
familiar. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's because my mom doesn't eat the shellfish anymore.
Okay.
She doesn't enjoy the traditional. I mean, I've been doing this for, my son is 35, so over 30 years. I've been cooking chopino every Christmas. This will be the first time I don't. So, and it's okay. I have to.
Yes.
Change things up. Yeah.
And you could share, another piece is, if there's apprehension of, wow, this is a 30-year tradition that I'm breaking. Mm-hmm. What if it wasn't a 30-year tradition that I'm breaking versus I'm starting a new tradition out of love for my mom, out of self-care for myself, create a story around it, tell your family. And I'm sorry, anybody who's like, well, I still want chipino. Well, you know what? Okay, go make your own. But this is why we're changing the tradition.
Yeah. You got to put what's important up front. Yeah. That was awesome.
And historically too, we're sometimes very caught up in traditions. Traditions, if we look, have changed over the years, over centuries. So sometimes we're very caught up there. Just real quick, there's the story of like literally you get the pot roast and you cut the ends off and you put it in a pan, and then the daughter does the same, and the granddaughter, and finally someone's like, why do we cut off the ends of the pot roast? Like, what's the magical story? And somebody remembers a great grandmother says, you know what, because the pan wasn't big enough, it wouldn't fit. But we have this attachment of, no, this is how you create the pot. And it's not shaming anyone's real traditions.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, in the prehistoric times, people didn't put up Christmas trees. They didn't have, I don't know, all traditions. So to me, there's not necessarily anything wrong with breaking a tradition if there's good reason behind it.
Yeah.
And especially if it's stress inducing.
Mm-hmm.
We keep doing things that are stress inducing because we think we're supposed to. So.
And I think that's a gift, to give people the opportunity to form their own traditions, because they're not burdened with those that I'm trying to impose. It frees me up because then I don't have to enforce anything. And everybody gets to relax and maybe brainstorm, what's the new tradition going to be? Can we all agree on something that's less stressful? Nobody's going to, I don't know, leave the planet if we don't have turkey on Thanksgiving, because we didn't have turkey.
Or chipino.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Someone got sick. We couldn't go to their house. We ended up having a different meal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fine. Everybody survived. Nobody stressed out or freaked out.
Yeah.
And especially when you come back to, again, whatever your traditions, culture is, what's the real purpose? What's the real purpose of maybe religiously who you're honoring?
Mm-hmm.
Culturally, is it an important tradition that you're passing forward? I think the food is part of it, because food is comfort and there's traditional recipes. But to me, there's so much more. And if there's an environment and a setting of bad will and bad energy and people don't want to be there, what are you really celebrating and what's the holiday anyway? Like who and what are you honoring if
Mhm.
there's all that stress and energy around it? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
in my humble opinion. So,
This was very helpful, ladies.
I'm glad.
I enjoyed the process. Ah, is there anything else you want to share, Robin, before I tell people where they can find Jill?
No, no, I'm very happy.
You're very calm. I could tell your
Yes.
voice just changed. Your whole voice changed. I know when she comes into the room, by the time she leaves, we're just talking completely different. It's a whole different octave, the whole 9 yards. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I know you're going to want to know more about Jill and what she is and how she does it. So let me tell you where you can find her. Um, you can find her at Jill Weston on at the Breathing Space. And as you can see, I'm going to put this on full view so that you can see what I'm talking about here. She has some upcoming events. Yoga Ninja is going to happen on December 3rd, December 7th, and December 10th. And if you want to know more events, you'd simply click here. Can you guys see this changing?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the screen
Oh,
is working.
nice.
And you can see her showing the practice of Yoga Ninja, a ninja,
So,
Nindra.
You're good. Nidra. It's hard to say.
Thank you,
Nidra.
Nindra.
do
Okay.
you have Insight Timer on your website too, Jill?
hmm hmm
Good. Yes.
And
And then
so,
I'm partnering with someone that's we're calling it Holiday Harmonics. That's the second one again to help people through the
Oh,
holidays.
wow. Look at
Do
all
some
that.
breath, yeah. Just a
Awesome.
breath work class towards the end of December.
hey, I'm going down just to show you this page that there are a number of classes that you're able to register for, and you can contact her there on the site. Um, and type your message to Jill. So we're excited about it. And also you can find Jill. Let me stop sharing that. You can find Jill over on her Instagram page. And let's see if we can share that with you so you know when you're there. It looks exactly like this. And it's Instagram.com breathing space Jill. So I'm going to put those in the chat so you'll be able. It's pretty long, but which is why I wanted to show you the space so you'll know when you get to the breathing space. You see the logo there on the left-hand side. You know you're in the right place.
And she has a link tree link also, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Very cool.
So we are excited to have shared this time with you, Jill. And
Thank you
as
both.
usual, we are much calmer. And we are so much
Ready
better
to face the day.
to do the holiday our way. And
Yes. Thank
because
you so much, Jill. It's really good to see you. And it was a great
Thank
session.
you. Thank
and I
you. Thank
pray
you, everybody watching.
and I pray you have a great holiday, and all of those of you watching live and on the replay. We want to thank you again, Robin, for finding these great guests. Oh my gosh. Okay. And so we're going to sign off and thank you, everyone. Robin, you were going to say
Oh,
something?
I wanted to announce that next week we have Lakeisha Appleton with us. So we'll be doing our Christmas shopping or our holiday shopping with Lakeisha.
So come prepared,
Our
guys.
Mary Kay consultant. So that'll be fun to see Lakeisha.
Come prepared to shop. With that, we wish everyone a happy holiday, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll be talking tech with the Tech Divas.
Yep.
So, before I put everybody to sleep because I'm talking so slow, I just want to say have a great holiday and do it your way. Bye bye, everyone.